Hi everyone and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julie and I have a family of 6 and I love to just bake and share the recipes that I've developed and love with you guys. Today I have my bakery style iced orange rhubarb muffins. These are so tender and moist and we love them. There's a few people in my family that are not exactly rhubarb fans and they'll even eat these rhubarb muffins. They're so delicious. Along with sharing the recipe today, I also want to point out I'm just using frozen rhubarb because rhubarb's hopefully going to be coming up here in a couple months, so I needed to use up what I had. But this also works really great with fresh rhubarb. Along with the recipe, I also am going to share with you how to make those bakery style tulip liners with just a simple sheet of parchment paper. With all of that said, let's get started baking. Start by measuring out 1.5 cups of chopped rhubarb, which is also 195 grams. As I mentioned, you can use either fresh or frozen, but you'll want to make sure your pieces are small enough. For me, those are too big. If you're using frozen rhubarb, it's easiest to chop it smaller while it's still frozen. If you find any little pieces of ice, just remove them at this time. As your rhubarb thaws, it's going to let off some more water, and you will not drain that liquid from your thawed rhubarb. I'm using my chopper on my rhubarb that's fresh out of the freezer, but you may want to let your rhubarb thaw slightly and use a very sharp knife. You can thaw your rhubarb at room temperature or you can microwave it for a couple of minutes just to speed up the thawing process. But again, don't drain the liquid. If you put frozen rhubarb into your batter, it's going to thicken up the batter and make it harder to work with. Now it's time to zest your oranges. For the batter, you'll need zest from about 1.5 medium navel oranges. The batter calls for 1 tablespoon or 12 grams of zest, and the glaze needs 1 teaspoon or 3 or 4 grams of zest. You'll need a total of 16 grams of zest between the batter and the glaze. To zest, you may use a microplane or a zester tool. Just know that if your zest comes off in long strands, you'll want to give it a quick chop before you incorporate it. Start with the dry ingredients by mixing 2 cups or 240 grams of all-purpose unbleached flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You'll notice I forgot my cinnamon. Don't worry, I remembered before I mixed everything all together, but you can add it now. In a separate bowl, we'll mix our wet ingredients. First, we'll start with our brown sugar. I love to weigh brown sugar because I hate packing sugar. You'll need 1/2 cup of packed brown sugar or 106 grams, and 1/2 cup of butter that's been melted and cooled. Mix this together so that your butter and sugar is all consistent. Add 2 large room temperature eggs and mix well. Next, add either sour cream or plain yogurt. Both of them work beautifully in my recipe. You'll need 1 cup or 227 grams. Add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Lastly, stir in that 1 tablespoon of orange zest that you prepared earlier. Stir this well so you have a nice even consistency. And here's my cinnamon. I'm so glad I remembered because these muffins are amazing with that cinnamon flavor. Pour your wet mixture into the dry and stir so that it's evenly incorporated. It's time to add that chopped rhubarb. As you can see, it's thawed and there is a liquid at the bottom. Again, do not pour out the liquid. That's a lot of the flavor from the rhubarb that you want inside your muffin. Stir the rhubarb so that it's even throughout the batter. Now to make the topping, you'll need 1/4 cup of room temperature butter, 1/2 cup or 60 grams of all-purpose unbleached flour, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 3 tablespoons or 40 grams of brown sugar, and 3 tablespoons or 37 grams of granulated sugar. I like to use a fork or you can use your hands to mix all of this together, but you want an even consistency for this crumbly topping that's going to go onto your muffins before you bake them in the oven. Here's a quick and easy way to make bakery-style muffin liners with parchment paper. You'll need parchment paper, a ruler, and scissors, or you can use a guillotine cutter to cut multiple sheets at once. For a standard muffin tin, cut 5-inch squares of parchment. Stack 4 to 6 squares on top of each other and cut a 1-inch slit at the center of each side. If you cut too far, they will still work, but they may slip off the muffin once they're removed from the muffin tin. Take 2 corners like this and press them into your muffin tin or over a small jar like a 6-ounce tomato paste can. Press down with your fingers and form a crease around the edges of the muffin tin. Repeat with each corner, making sure that the overlaps face the same direction and that you have a nice, firm seam at the bottom. I've found that if I try to shape these individually, they do not hold their shape as well, so definitely shape your liners in batches. I really like these liners because I can fill my muffins or cupcakes just a little bit more without needing a jumbo muffin tin. They're also so cheap and easy to make, and I'm able to easily remove my muffins or cupcakes from my pan sooner without dealing with muffin tops that might have baked onto the pan. Now let's fill the liners for baking. I'm making just one standard cup liner today to show the difference between the two types of liners, but using the tulip liners, you'll lightly place the liner on top of the muffin tin and scoop the batter into the center of the liner. As you can see, the weight of that batter pushes down the liner and it forms perfectly to the muffin tin. My batter scoop is 3.25 ounces and it's the perfect size for muffins. If you're using only store-bought muffin liners, this batch will make about 13 or 14 muffins without spilling over onto your pan. Once all your batter is scooped out, sprinkle the topping evenly among all the muffins. Bake in a preheated 425-degree oven for 7 minutes and then reduce the oven temperature to 350 degrees and bake for an additional 12 to 13 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean. While the muffins are baking, it's a great time to make the glaze. You'll start with 1 cup of confectioner's sugar or 115 grams. I like to sift this just to make sure that there's no lumps in it. Add the 1 teaspoon of orange zest that we set aside from earlier. You'll also need 4 teaspoons or 19 grams of freshly squeezed orange juice. Give this a good stir. Place your baked muffins onto a wire rack. You want to let them sit for about 5 minutes and then I like to remove them from the pan. This is where those tulip liners come in really handy because they're really easy to grab the muffins out of the tin and let them cool completely. If you want really pronounced glaze on the top of your muffins, you'll need them to be completely cool before you apply it. I'm very impatient though, and I rarely can wait that long to start enjoying these muffins. The 5-inch squares that I used for the tulip liners are the perfect size for these muffins, and they're almost bursting out of the liner, which I think is really pretty. Here's just a standard cupcake size. It has a little bit less batter than the tulip lined muffins do. To finish these muffins, drizzle the glaze on top. Keep in mind that a regular cupcake liner can't hold as much batter as the tulip lined one, it's just slightly less. So if you are only using standard cupcake liners, you may want to bake your muffins in 2 batches of about 7 muffins with just a little bit less batter in each muffin. Alright guys, thanks for watching with me, and I hope you give these a try. They're gorgeous, they're delicious, and I really think you're going to love them. If you try them, I'd love to hear what you think about them. If you tried using or making your muffin liners, I'd also love to hear if they worked out for you and what you think about them. And if you guys have any requests or things you'd like me to make, please leave them in the comments below. Always thank you guys for your support. Until next time, happy baking.